Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, it's so good to be with you this morning. I was doing some studying this morning, and I was studying in the book of Romans out of the Bible, and I was studying in chapter 5, and it spoke to me this morning, and I had to get on and share it with you guys because I was real excited about it. I'm excited about life. I'm excited about being here. I'm excited about this journey, and I definitely want to share with you guys what God shared with me this morning. So I'm gonna jump right on into this thing because what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna talk about those three things that I got from this scripture. Three things to why it's concerning your struggle, concerning, whether you're having that struggle in your relationships, or why you have, or you may have a struggle in your business relationship, or so whether it's in your romantic relationship or is your business relationship, I'm gonna talk to you about three things of why it's a necessity, why that struggle is so important, to your success. Okay, and like I said, I'm just gonna jump into this thing, and I'm going to read Romans chapter 5, and I'm going to start at 3 and read 3, 4, and 5. Now, what I would say to you guys is this. Man, if you want to be set free, if you want to, man, just find your purpose, if you want to be, find that balance in your life, spend some time and just read the whole book of Romans, okay? But here we go. Romans chapter 5, verse 3 through 5. He said, not only that, but we rejoice in the suffering, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And number 5 says, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. Now, guys, for all you shouters out there, listen, that was a good place to shout. But that spoke to me. It spoke to me, and it touched my heart because I started thinking about those marriages that failed when times got tough. I started thinking about those business relationships where, just one little hiccup and all of a sudden the stress came upon, and then all of a sudden their goals and their dreams was aborted. You can I think so highly of women, that can go through childbirth, and all the things that you have to endure, all the things that you have to struggle with, you have the struggle of what's going on to you mentally. You have the struggle what's going on to you physically with your body. There's so much uncomfort, and I know as a male, I could never fully understand what you're going through, but I can empathize with you because I understand what I can understand. I can understand, where that pain could come from. But I see you, And I see you looking at all of that, knowing that, you may not know it fully with the first child. You may not understand. You may not fully know what it comes, what happens, to you mentally and physically, with the first child. But then you have the second one, and you have the third one, and goes on and on and on. But now you know, and you say, yeah, man, you can look at your child and you can literally say, this pain, this suffering that I endured was worth it all. See, that's why that's why I will always salute you. That's why I would never downplay what you do. I think it's the most perfect thing, the most precious thing God has created, and that was the woman. And I say that because when I look at this scripture, I see what it takes in order for you to get to the other side. You're gonna have to endure some things in order for you to get to the other side in that business relationship, to where you at the beginning, and you're so excited about the concept of starting this business with your business partner. I mean, everybody's gung-ho, and then here comes the struggles, and then all of a sudden the pain kicks in, and then you say, is it worth it? And you walk away from your goals and dreams. I'm thinking about that relationship where when y'all met each other, everything was so great and everybody was so happy, and I mean, you're taking, selfies and you're posting them, and man, y'all was so much in love, but then here comes the pain. And see, what I realize is that there's something about that struggle that makes some want to quit. And then a few of us have experienced the other side of that. See, the other side of the pain and the struggle of childbirth is, bringing forth that baby, that precious gift from God. See, the other side of that relationship is that, man, once you got on the other side of that struggle, it created something in you. Just like that baby that was created, from that mother enduring the pain. Something was created inside of her. And see, there's three things that I want to pull out, to extract from these scriptures. I want to talk about three things on why it's such a necessity. It's so important for you to endure the pain. I want to talk about three things that I feel that if you want to have a successful life, if you want to have a successful marriage, if you want to have a successful business, then you're gonna have to go through this struggle, and you're gonna have to endure it to the end. The first thing we're gonna talk about is number one is it's a necessity to go through this pain, through this struggle, because it builds endurance. It's a necessity. See, you have to build endurance, because you're gonna need it. You're gonna need that to take you to the other side. You're gonna. I want you to look at it as if you're training. Maybe you're training for a marathon, and you know that. I never ran a marathon, but I do know that I would not, in my condition, just get up and say, hey, I want to run a marathon. Now, I can say that all day, but realistically, no matter how I hope to finish the marathon, there's no way physically that I could finish the marathon. Why? Because I have not built no endurance. I have not trained. I have not went through the struggle and through the pain in order for me to attempt to not just start the race. Come on, guys. Finish the race. Guys, we're in a season where we have to finish the race. In order for you to finish the race, you're going to have to. It's going to be a necessity that you build up your endurance. And guys, you're going to build up your endurance. The first thing, man, we cannot run from the struggle. Guys, you can't run from the training, guys. The training the training is so important if you want to finish your race. When you look at it in your relationship, when you look at it in your marriage, guys, there's some arguments that you're just gonna have to have. There's some battles that you're gonna have to have, but I promise you, there's another side to it. There's a such thing as the other side. See, you're gonna get over that. And once you get over that, and you're on the other side, you're gonna realize that confrontation was important. But if you don't ever go through it, you're gonna always be defeated by it. You can always start it, but you'll never be able to finish because you have not built up any endurance. The endurance is a necessity. You're gonna have to work yourself out. Just like you have to work out whatever issue that's in that relationship. To all my business entrepreneurs out there, listen, there's some things that you're gonna have to build up. You're gonna have to strengthen up in order to be successful. It's gonna be a necessity if you want to get to the other side. The second thing I want to talk about is that it's a necessity. You're going to have to build up your character. He said that the suffering produces endurance, and then endurance produces character. Endurance produces character. So let's talk about that. What is character? Character is who you are when nobody's looking. What you have to understand is that this struggle, it will break you down. See, one of the hardest things it is about being in any type of relationship when you deal with other people is that those other people will find out who you are. And see, a lot of us try to hide from that. And I don't want you to know who I really am. So I create this facade, and I do it because I don't want you to know who I really am. I want to hide from you. I want to I want to be able to show you the part of me that I have made look good, but I don't want to show you the ugly side of me. But what I'm saying to you guys is that it's so important, that you go through this struggle to build your character. Okay, you're gonna have to endure some things. And I'm going to tell you why, enduring and building that character go hand in hand is because once you go through the endurance and now you're faced with looking at the person that's in the mirror, and you really have to look at yourself and what you're saying to yourself and what you're realizing about yourself, that you're not as good as you thought you were. You're not, maybe, maybe you realize you're not as smart as you thought you would. Maybe, maybe you don't love your wife, or your husband as much as you thought you did. And maybe, maybe you thought you communicated well, and you realize that there's areas in your life where you just shut down. But wherever that area is, once you go through that endurance and it breaks you down, okay? And I mean, it breaks you down and you realize that, man, I don't have what it takes. Then you're going to be able to be honest with yourself. And through that honesty, it's going to build up your character. You're not going to be able to go nowhere. You're not going to be able to have any meaningful quality of life, whether it's in a loving romantic relationship, or whether it's in business. You're not going to be able to have that quality, that success that you're desiring, simply because your character is wrong. Your character builds trust. See, someone can trust you if you can fall. You can be down, you can literally fall. You can recognize your failure. Then you get back up. See, people can roll with that. They can accept. They can roll with that. They can say, yeah, Eric's not perfect, but man, did you see him get back up? Man, what great character he has. What great character he has. You see, it's something about being able to endure and long enough to where you can build character. That character that says, I'm not running from this one. I'm going to stand and fight on this one here. Why? Because my goals and my dreams are that important to me. You've been running all your life. Every time it got tough, you decided to run. But this time, I'm going to stay. This time, I'm going to endure. This time, I'm going to build my character to where any reproach that comes, I'll be able to withstand it. Why? Because you've been in training. You done got some staying power. You done learned how to, you know what it felt like, man, to get halfway there and want to quit. But you went on to the other side, and on the other side, you seen the victory. You said, I did it once and I can do it again. You have to go through that pain. You have to go through that struggle. You have to go through it. It's a necessity. Because you want to build endurance. And endurance is going to build your character. And the third thing that I want to talk about, and why it's a necessity in order to have this success in your business or in your business relationship or in your romantic, loving relationship, whether it's in your marriage. That is so important, because the third thing is that it's gonna build up hope. Yeah, but you're gonna hope in a different way. It's gonna give you so much confidence. Man, it's gonna give you so much confidence. Your hope is gonna be a little bit different. Yeah, it's gonna hit a little bit different this time. Man, you done learn. Man, you done train for this thing. You done got some endurance behind you. Your character, you had that one-on-one conversation with yourself, and you was honest with yourself. Man, God was cutting away some things from you, and He was developing you, and He was saying, it was telling you that, man, if you're gonna do this walk, you're gonna have to do it a different way. But it built up some hope in you. What is that hope doing for you? Man, that hope is giving you just that little bit more. When you feel like giving up, that hope comes in and gives you a little bit more. You say, well, I'm tired. Man, I've been running and I'm tired and I want to give up. Your character kicks in. That endurance kicked in. And you say, now I got a little bit more hope. And then you start realizing that you can go a little bit more longer. And you're looking at your business partner and you're saying, man, we can do it just a little bit more. Man, we can give it another chance. Man, we started out with high hopes and high dreams, and we got a little bit more in us. You're looking at your husband, you're looking at your wife, and you're saying, man, we got a little bit more in us. We got a little bit more in us. Man, I know everything looks like hell around you. I know it looks bad. But you done built up some endurance in you. You done built up your character. And you said, I got a little bit more hope. Just a little bit more hope. All you need is a little bit more. Just a little bit more. That's it. Just a little bit more. All you need is a little bit more hope. Because when time gets tough, man, when that struggle kicks in, when you're feeling the pain, see, right, man, you know, there's a point. See, I have 4 kids, so I understand this side of it. But I know that there's a point where you feel as if, man, you know, this is too much for me. This is a lot. You know, so, you know, during this childbirth, you get your water breaks, and then all of a sudden you start feeling these contractions, and every time they hit, you're saying, man, that's a lot of pain. That's a lot to endure. But see, you done built up your character. And you're not focusing on, you know, what's in the past. You say, yeah, that hurts me. That, man, I hate that feeling. But you got a little bit of hope, because you're not focusing on what was in the past. You're focusing on what's to come. Man, you say, you know at the end of this, in just a short while from now, all that you have been through, all that you've been training for, all this pain, all this struggle that you've been working through, man, you're saying that, man, all of it's going to be worth it. All of it's going to be worth it. There's nothing more powerful than the female. There's nothing more powerful than a female that can birth a child. You understand that endurance. And I'm not leaving my brothers out, because we have a whole nother fight. We got a whole nother different fight. And to my brothers out there, listen, I know what goes on in your head. I know that you're looking at it, you're looking at your situation, and you're saying, man, is it all worth it? And you're looking at yourself and you're saying, man, do I have any more to give? And you want to walk away, and you feeling frustrated because you feel like, you know, you're crying out and you're trying to get somebody's attention, but nobody hears you. And you feel like you're in this place, and you're seeing all these people around you, and you're crying out, and nobody's hearing you cry. I know that feeling. I've been there. And you're wondering, you know, why is it that nobody's listening to me? Why is it, I mean, you know, do you not see the tears in my eyes? Do you not see how frustrated that I am? Did you not realize that up under, you know, this hero suit, that I was just a regular man? Have you forgot? I know, I got you. I know what you have to endure, sir. I know what you have to endure. I know that it frustrates you, because you always have to put on your cape, and you always got to go out there and perform. You always got to go out there and save the day. And then it comes a point where it was just expected for you. And then all of a sudden, at one point they cheered, and then now it's like, well, you're supposed to do that. And I know you spend a lot of times at home, or, you know, driving, or on the fishing bank, or, just on your boat somewhere, in your man cave. I understand. There's a point where you get away because you're saying, man, what's the point? What's the point? But see, what I'm saying is that, all of that is teaching you endurance. All of it. See, you haven't gave up. I know it feels bad, but you haven't gave up. You're still in the fight. And see, as long as you're in that training, you got hope. And all you need is a little bit. All you need is a little bit. Man, so stay encouraged. And guys, I want to finish with this. If I started on verse 3 in chapter 5, but if you go back down to 4, in chapter 4, it talks about how when how God sent his son Jesus to die for us. I'm paraphrasing. I'm gonna set this down. It talks about how God sent his son to die for us, but it talks about it in a sense that it says how, we were, in our most unlovable state. We were in our most unlovable state, but God still seeing fit to say, even though you in your mess era, I'm gonna send you some hope. I'm gonna send you a redeemer. And this is what I want you to get from this. This is what I want you to see. If we want to have a successful relationship, we're going to have to first realize that there's something that's inherently flawed with our flesh. There's nothing about our flesh that should be glorified. It's the spirit of the man. See, God looked beyond our flesh, and He's seen the spirit. And see, what I want you to do, I want you to be able to look at your husband. I want you to be able to look at your wife, and I want you to look beyond the flesh. I want you to look beyond the faults of the man. I want you to look beyond the physical appearance. I want you to look beyond the flaws. I want you to look beyond those things where that bothers you the most about your spouse. I want you to look beyond that, and I want you to look in the spirit, because see, when we were in our most messed up place, in the worst place that we can be in, God said, I seem fit to send you a redeemer, send you hope. And see, what I want you to do, there's two things I want you to understand. I want you to understand that you're going to have to accept your spouse as they are. Just accept them as they are, okay? And the other last thing is that I want you to be able to send your spouse some hope. Send them some hope. Just like God sent us hope, send your spouse some hope. Let them know that, let your husband know that, hey, I'm sorry that I did not hear your cry. Let your wife know that I understand that you have some pain that I will never be able to physically experience. But I just want you to know that I understand. Start there, okay? Start there. Start your day out with asking your spouse, is there anything that I can do for you? So, guys, listen, my name is Eric Kirk. For those who don't know, I'm going to post this up on my YouTube channel. I'm going to post it up on social media, all social media. So, listen, when you see it, if you see it on my channel, listen, subscribe to it, like it.